As a kid, I wasn't really a big Star Trek fan. I found it slow, kind of dull and boring. I was more into the Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I got them all switch all over the place. But anyways, that was my type of sci-fi, not so much Star Trek. But there was one Star Trek movie I really did enjoy, and that was The Wrath of Khan. That's what kind of got me into Star Trek. I'm still not a huge Star Trek fan. I like the original characters. That's my jam. Even though they were a little bit before my time, and I was just a little kid when the movies started. But I like the original characters more in the Next Generation. Next Generation was, I don't know, there was something about those characters I just didn't like. Found them not very interesting, but I did like the original characters, and I loved Khan because you got a great naval space battle, out there. You got two guys going head to head, trying to outthink each other, and of course, we're talking about the Wrath of Khan, and then you got that very exciting ending, to say the least. So let's get into this. First off, this was made after the original picture, but I feel like in some ways the special effects and the outer space scenes seem to be like this a touch below the quality of the original motion picture, or not the, whatever, Star Trek the motion picture. This one actually does feel like a movie, unlike the first Star Trek movie felt like a extended TV series with a bigger budget and better special effects. I will say that. But the Wrath does feel like Wrath of Khan does feel like an actual movie. You got some exciting parts here, and you got the old crew back. And I would say the original cast of Star Trek is probably like the best cast assembly ever put together, in my opinion. Throughout, these people really feel like they've known each other for years, which they probably did, of course, because they were on the TV series. But you don't really feel like they're characters on screen. You feel like they're actual buddies and actually gone through some stuff on these missions that they went through back in the 60s and the previous movie. They're very well put together on screen, play off each other's characters, probably better than any assembly. So you got good old Captain Kirk, William T. Shatner, and you got Leonard Nimoy coming back as Captain Kirk, as Spock. I don't know why I said that. Well, I don't know why I was thinking that. Anyways, and those two, you really could tell that their characters are really good friends. And of course, you got the good doctor. He's probably my third favorite character, the God Doctor. I really like him. He's kind of grounded. Does he ever call Jim Jimbo? I feel like I've seen some episodes where he called him Jimbo, but I'm probably misremembering. Looking at my notes here. So the movie, the movie does start off with Captain Kirk. He's older. He's not a admiral. He's like a instructor now. He's kind of more a behind the scenes character. And we have Kristen Allen coming on here. This is like her really big first movie role before Cheers. This is our thing that kind of get her name out there. And she does an excellent job playing another Vulcan, just like Spock. And she's in the training, and they put her in a no-win situation where you're not supposed to win, and everybody brags to how Captain Kirk was the first one to win, and turns out he really cheated. That's how he's won, because he doesn't like to lose. And it's kind of a theme that plays throughout the movie and comes into play at the very end as they do in the last battle of Khan, and how they are a win. And this movie does kind of give you a challenge, like what is winning? What does winning look like? Does winning look like, can you lose and still consider be a winner? What sacrifices does one must take to become a winner? So what is winning? What is this definition? What does it look like? And this really does play a part, like I said, in the ending, as Captain Kirk wins, but then he loses. Spoiler alert, his best friend here, Spock, who sacrifices himself for the crew so they can escape Khan in his last desperate attempt to win. For Khan at that time, he's going to lose his life, but for him to win would be to destroy Captain Kirk and for Captain Kirk to die. That was his version of what winning looks like. Again, playing into this theme, what is winning? And they got another theme in here is humans playing God, similar to the first movie, which kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, in retrospect, kind of forget what Star Trek 3 is about, the Searchers for Spock. It's been so long, and I vaguely remember anything about that movie because I didn't really like it. I only really like Wrath of Khan of the movies, up to the one where Kirk was framed for assassination or something like that. That one's pretty good, but Wrath of Khan is my favorite Star Trek movie. But in this movie, so what I was getting ready to say is that it seems like the theme of God in these movies kind of play a picture. The first Star Trek movie, you got the Voyager coming back and trying to find its maker. And then they got a form of life, it's another God. This one, they got this device now. The scientists were able to create a device that can create life on planets or destroy life. And so this is what kind of what Khan is after. Kind of uses this as a trap to get Kirk to come and to play with him, I guess you could say. Then another theme of this is kind of family. You got Khan and his crew is like his family. And then Kirk, he had a relationship with his wife. He finds out that he has a son. This he didn't even know that existed, but the son knew about him. And then at the end, he got that funny kind of reversal thing that the son's like, I'm proud that you're my father. Kind of get the idea that he kind of looked down upon Captain Kirk his whole life, but once he got to know his father, he was proud of him. Usually it's the reversal where the father tells the son, I'm proud to be your father because how you grew and stuff. So a little bit of reversal there. So we got a little bit of a family theme in here. Also with Kirk and the Enterprise and his comrades is like another friendship. That's why Spock is willing to give up his life for them because he considers them family. Maybe I'm putting words into his mouth. I'm not sure. Ricardo, I cannot pronounce his last name, Montalban, as Khan. Maybe he steals the movie, because his performance is so well, he's very great as Khan, and William Shatner's performance in this movie is top notch as well. Khan, he's after revenge because he blames Kirk for killing his wife. So he wants Kirk to to pay for this. Also, he got exiled out into outer space. But he has this raw emotion. You can see the anger and this fanaticism, I guess you can call it, to get back at Kirk. Another thing about this movie kind of scared me as a kid was those little insects that he puts in the ears of the two other Star Trek officials so he can control them. That was always kind of scary for me, and like, oh man, that's kind of out there. Kind of reminds me of those things in a way. I don't know why, but of George R. Martin's story. It's at the Sand Kings, where anyways you've got these insects that kind of like live in dry land. And you put them in like you can put them together, and they're really intelligent, and they could cause like big battles and stuff. And the guy kind of stirs them up, and they see him as a god, and but they also see him as a mean kind of god. So they kind of get back out to him at the end. If you want to know, if you're like a George Martin fan, it's in a collection of his short stories. It's a pretty good movie. Story. I think they might have made a movie of it, but I don't know what it's called. And I heard and I think he's talked about it, and like he was very disappointed in it. Of course, Wrath of Khan got that famous line where after everything's destroyed, Shatner yells out, Khan! And it echoes throughout outer space. Everybody makes a parody of parody of that, but I feel like that's like the memorable line of the movie. That's kind of like Rocky 2 when Rocky yells out, "Yo, Adrian, I did it." Everybody likes to make fun of that line. Same here with this one, Con. It's kind of cheesy line, maybe not the best part of Kirk's performance in this movie. Take that out, he still does a top-notch performance in this. Maybe the best of his career. You could argue that. And then, of course, the best part of the movie is the galactic battle between Khan and Shatner as they're trying to outmaneuver, outthink each other. It's probably maybe the best in cinema up to this point ever, just because it's so strategic, and we get to see the philosophy that each one of them are trying to take and getting over the other one, how they're using the rules of battle either for them or against them, you know. Especially the first encounter, as Khan knows the protocol that these Star Trek admirals are supposed to use when engaging somebody else. So he's kind of using that against Kirk. And then when they go into the Nebulous Cloud, or whatever the scientific name for it is, and how Kirk is using that blindness to be able to get back at Khan. Very well done. Like I said, I think this is the best Star Trek movie. What do you guys think? If you're hanging out here at 12 minutes, which hardly nobody will be doing, do you love Star Trek? The Wrath of Khan, is it one of your favorite? One is your worst? Is it overrated, underrated? Let me know below. Have a great day. Until next time, bye.